It's time for another Blu-ray DVD update. I've tried to make this video pointing towards me, but it was such a hassle today that I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way and point the camera down to the movies. So, yeah, you'll have to bear with me. I've just been working all day. I'm kind of tired, so we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. First up, I picked up a couple of movies from Studio Ghibli. I say Ghibli. I hope that's the way you pronounce it. Maybe it's Ghibli. Ghibli or Ghibli, I don't know. But Kikis Delivery Service is the first one I picked up. Really a delightful film. Incredibly well animated. It's about a young witch who, yeah, she starts a delivery service. There's really not a lot going on in the plot of this film. It's not a very plot-driven, heavy sort of film. But it's really wonderfully animated. It's astoundingly beautiful, and you can just kind of linger in this world, I find, because it's just so pleasurable and easygoing. And the town that this movie takes place in is actually based on a town in Sweden called Visby. If you've ever been to an island called Gotland, there's a town there called Visby, and it looks exactly like the town in this movie. So that's a really fun thing. I've always found that really cool. And yeah, they just took a lot of photos of Visby and they pretty much animated it as it is. So it looks exactly like the town you're seeing in Kiki's Delivery Service. These are some nice editions, double play editions, which means you get both a Blu-ray and a DVD with each movie. And they also have very important both Japanese and English audio, so you can pick which one you prefer. I always prefer to watch these movies in Japanese, the native Japanese, but if you don't like reading subtitles, you can always turn on English. So that's really cool. Beautiful film, highly recommended for the whole family. And again, like I said, this is just kind of soothing for the soul, in my opinion. It's just a movie I come back to when I just want to relax and take it easy. And yeah, that's Kiki's Delivery Service. Another one from Ghibli is Arrietty, or Arrietty. This is inspired by The Borrowers, about these little people who come into the house of human beings and borrow things or take things for their own little nest. And yeah, they end up getting to know someone in the family. This is a really, I mean, I can't understate it, but it's exceptionally well animated. Beautiful film with an absolutely gorgeous score. And, you know, it's just one of those films that I would recommend for the whole family. Anyone can watch this film and really, truly enjoy it. Just a beautiful, gorgeous film. I mean, I can't put it into words. And I'm sure it's just going to look breathtaking in high definition. Not a whole ton of special features on this one, but it is a double play edition, so you do get both a Blu-ray and a DVD. And again, you've got both Japanese and English audio, so you can decide which you prefer. And lastly, I picked up another one of my favorite Ghibli films, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, filmed by Isao Takahata. As you can see on the cover, this is soaringly beautiful and unique. I wouldn't be able to put it better myself. It's an astoundingly gorgeous film, just breathtaking for the eyes and the whole mind. It's about this young girl who becomes a princess sort of against her wishes. But there's something mysterious about this little girl that we learn, she's not quite like other little girls, and we learn that as the story moves along. I was surprised by how few special features this one had, but it doesn't really matter when the film is this beautiful. Again, Japanese and English. I will always prefer Japanese, and I recommend watching these in Japanese because it's a very different experience from watching them in English. So if you're able to read subtitles, go ahead and watch these in Japanese. It's all worth it. And I would recommend these films to anyone. Absolutely anyone. I don't care if you're 2 years old or 98 years old. I don't care if you like Disney or not. I don't care if you like animation or not. Check these films out. They are worth it. They're really special and just incredibly, incredibly beautiful. Speaking of Japanese cinema, I also picked up the Akira Kurosawa Samurai Masterpiece Collection. Look at this. This is really A beautiful box set. The artwork is just fantastic. 6 films, including Rashomon, Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood, The Hidden Fortress, Yojimbo, and Sanjuro. I actually really wanted to watch Seven Samurai again, but I got this box set with all these 6 films, and I'm going to check them all out. So far, I've only watched the first 2, Rashomon and Seven Samurai. Really good films, especially Seven Samurai in my opinion. But I'm really looking forward to checking out the rest. So yeah, I think this particular box set is only sold in Scandinavia, as far as I know. But yeah, I was really happy to find this and pick it up. This doesn't have a whole host of special features, but it doesn't really matter when the films are this good, in my opinion. Akira Kurosawa is sort of regarded as one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, and certainly one of the best Japanese filmmakers of all time. So, really nice little box set here. So yeah, that's the Akira Kurosawa Samurai Masterpiece Collection. Picks up some horror films as well. We've got The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This is also a double play edition, so it's got both a Blu-ray and a DVD. This is based on a true story. A man murdered a bunch of people in Texarkana in 1946. And if this hooded figure looks familiar, you might recognize this as the look that inspired Jason in Friday the 13th Part 2. In Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason didn't have the hockey mask yet, so he wore this bag over his head. And that bag was sort of inspired by this movie. There's also kind of a remake or meta sequel to this. I think it's more of a meta sequel, really. It's more like a Scream or something like that. Because within that movie, this movie exists, if that makes any sense. But I thought that was really delightful too. These are both really good sort of Zodiac-esque films about this killer who lurks a small town, murdering people. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's really suspenseful. It's really fun. It's kind of what you would call a proto-slasher, because this came out before the big slasher movies like Halloween and Friday the 13th and stuff like that appeared on the radar. So yeah, it's got this kind of Zodiac vibe to it. I enjoy this a lot. It's really cool. That's The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I also picked up a horror comedy, The Final Girls. This is a very fun sort of slasher comedy about a girl who loses her mother in a car accident, and then she ends up inside her mother's most famous film, which is an old 80s slasher movie called Camp Bloodbath. And now she and her friends, and of course her mother, or rather the character that her mother was playing in that movie, have to fight off the psychopathic killer. And yeah, it's just a fun popcorn slasher movie, very tongue-in-cheek, pokes fun at a lot of these slasher conventions, and yeah, just a very simple, fun, good time if you enjoy horror films and slasher movies. I don't know if I think this is quite as good as it sort of tries to be. In other words, this movie really tries to be like the most awesome movie ever made. It's not, it's really not, but it is a fun popcorn film. It does have a couple of laughs, a couple of fun gags, and it's also really well photographed, because when they end up inside the slasher movie, Camp Bloodbath, they're inside this sort of perfect movie world. In other words, everything is sort of artificial and perfectly well lit, and like this perfect beautiful perpetual summer day, and it's just astoundingly well photographed and lit in a kind of fake way, but still really looks breathtaking in high definition. So if you're able to watch this in high def, I really recommend it. A fun thing about this guy too is that he was in 2 movies last year. One called The Final Girls, this one, and one that was just called Final Girl. Really confusing, so yeah, quite a coincidence too, but I prefer The Final Girls, this one, which is the slasher comedy. Not a lot else to say about The Final Girls. It's just one of those fun kind of popcorn movies. If you know your slasher movies and you like, Scream or Friday the 13th or The Burning, or even something like Sleepaway Camp. I think you'll get a kick out of this one. Not an amazing film, but certainly very enjoyable for what it is. So that's The Final Girls. And last but not least, I picked up a DVD of A Lovely Molly. This is a movie that I've enjoyed ever since I first saw it. This is a psychological horror film. Really creepy and suspenseful, this movie. It's about a girl who has had problems with drug addiction. She returns to her, I think it's her parents' cabin or house in the sort of the middle of nowhere. She's all alone and she starts hearing things and seeing things, and it just becomes astoundingly creepy at times. Really suspenseful, really suggestive, this film. Like, you can't really tell if it's all happening in her head or if it's an external force that's sort of trying to get her. And I love when horror films do that. We can't ever quite tell if she's just going insane or if it's, you know, an external force that's trying to get to her. And yeah, I love that angle. I've always liked that sort of thing. The sound design in this film is really astounding, really exceptionally well made and creepy. Really sends shivers down your spine. So if you're alone and you want to watch something creepy, turn down the lights and check out Lovely Molly. It's just as creepy as they come. I meant to pick this up on Blu-ray, but it was much cheaper and much easier to get it on DVD. For some reason, it's not available on Blu-ray in Sweden. That's the case with a lot of horror movies, to be honest. If you want them on Blu-ray, you kind of have to import them, but they are usually available on DVD. So I just figured, what the heck, I'll just pick up the DVD and save a buck and save some time on this one, because I wanted this movie for a long time. Alright, that was my entire DVD Blu-ray collection for today. We had Lovely Molly on DVD, The Final Girls on Blu-ray, The Town That Dreaded Sundown on a double play, Blu-ray and DVD, the Akira Kurosawa Samurai Masterpiece Collection, and 3 Studio Ghibli films, including The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, Arrietty, and of course Kikis Delivery Service. Studio Ghibli have made so many great, wonderful films, so I would recommend checking out all their movies. Most all of them are really, really good or outright fantastic, but these 3 in particular, just, I don't know, they just stuck out to me. I just enjoy them, but you can't really go wrong. You've got, you know, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, Ponyo, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. They've just made some fantastic films, so check them all out. I forgot to mention, these also have numbered spines. See, this is number 5, for instance. This is number 18. So if you want to pick up the entire collection and have them in order, you can do that, which is a really nice touch, in my opinion. Alright, you guys, that was it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.